This is going to be going over how to 2-man 100% one-shot every single hunt using Salome on Otherworldly difficulty. I've been waiting for this for quite a while, because when Salome came out, her copy, of course, is really, really strong, but now her S3 is also insane, because since we can ignore 15%, our S3 will always apply Collapse and Death Break. Death Break opens up your range of usable one-shotters by a ton. It no longer has to be units that 100% ignore defense. You can use pretty much anybody. And then also Collapse is a free 25% damage, which you do technically lose a bit of Daydream Joker damage. It's still worth it. And her copy, of course, insanely strong because it lets her be a DPS, just straight up a copy of your DPS. Her S2's targeting on auto always targets the unit with the highest attack. So really, really strong there. And she'll be your debuffer, Deathbreaker, Collapse, plus DPS. So very, very nice. We're going to go through every single hunt. The most interesting one to me is probably Wyvern, because Wyvern and Caides you can 2-man one-shot now. Before, it was realistically only 3-man setups for full one-shots. And Salome also does make some of these one-shots pretty easy to gear. Starting off with Wyvern, every single team, you'll see Estelle and Nodos here, just because I'm friendship farming them, so they'll be ungeared on their friendship artifact. And then Hua-Young is, or Argent Waves Hua-Young is our DPS of choice. Just make sure that Salome's in the back slot, so you benefit from the CR push, and then Estelle is in the front slot, or anybody, rather, any of your friendship units are in the front slot, so that they die to Wyvern's first hit. Salome, we're going to want 80 effectiveness. The number you might have in your head is 65. It's 80 now because we can cover the extra 15%. You want to match the enemy F-res. And then her speed, lower than 230, at least 215 is what I would say. We're going to go with this. You don't really need anything. It's literally just the correct speed and then enough effectiveness. Might as well do Team Imprint for the free attack for your DPS. And then we're going to give her Warhorn. And also make sure her S3 is at least +6 if you don't have that for some reason. Now, Argent Waves Hua-Young, you need probably at least 140, 145, I would say. Might as you don't need very good DPS gear on her. You could get away with like dropping this boot for a speed main boot, and you would be okay. Just, of course, make sure she doesn't outspeed your Salome, because you want your Salome to land Death Break first, and then give her Daydream Joker. The Wyvern goes first, kills off Estelle, and then Salome goes, we land Collapse and Death Break. Now Hua-Young's going to go, you're going to get the CR push for Salome and push her up. The S2 copy procs Hua-Young's S2, and she gets the attack buff, does a ton of damage. Now Salome gets to use Hua-Young S3, and you'll be able to kill the Wyvern. So one more thing to note is that Hua-Young's S3 gives herself vigor buff, so when she procced her S2 there, she got an extra turn. That's why I said even if you remove Hua-Young's boot for a speed main boot, she would have lost like 700 attack. You're still going to kill the Wyvern because Hua-Young had an entire S1 that we hadn't used yet. So yeah, you'll be fine. This is really easy to gear, assuming you have the units. Next up on the list is Golem. Golem is also pretty easy to one-shot. Your DPS options, you have so many options. It's like any unit with like a respectable nuke. Like you could use Straze. I'm using Sirmia just because she's like the budget free-to-play option. Kane works, Afternoon Soak Flan works, of course the usual Soul Bad Guy works, and Soul actually lets you do it like a little bit faster, but it doesn't really matter too much, so we're going to be using Sirmia. For Salome, you're going to want to make sure that she's actually pretty fast. Aim for about 260, I think, is good. You want to cut the ads, so maybe 265. You can just see what works, and again, 80 effectiveness, and we're going to be giving her Warhorn as well. And Sirmia, just give her like about 140 speed, because again, you want to cut the ads. Just give her some like gear. Like this is not good gear. It's fine. And then her EE doesn't really matter. I might as I'll turn this off just so we can see. I guess my survey is imprinted, and then we have Daydream Joker here. So Salome goes first, we apply the Collapse and Death Break as usual, and then we're just gonna try and lap around and make sure you cut the ads pretty much. It doesn't matter if the Golem goes, because he's not gonna kill you. He's also not going to like really do anything to you. And that's Golem down. Now for Banshee, and I have that other video with a bunch of 2-man setups. Here's another one for the list. It's Salome plus Genesis Ross. Genesis Ross previously, for a lot of comps that I tested, had an issue where if his S2 landed Collapse, then he would not kill the boss because my gear wasn't good enough, and also you would lose damage from Daydream Joker from the Collapse, which is kind of funny, but Salome applies Death Break too, so Genesis Ross S2 is going to end up actually doing quite a bit of damage, plus her S3 contributes a good amount of chip damage too. For Salome, one of the important things is make her not too fast. Ideally, make her slower than the Banshee. It kind of actually doesn't matter too much, because I think you should have the gear to kill even if Banshee goes after Salome. This is because Banshee will heal after hitting non-Earth units. But if you want to min-max your damage, have Salome be slower than the Banshee, and we've got Warhorn still, which doesn't do too much for Ross, but... And then we have a very badly built Genesis Ross here with Daydream Joker. Just make sure he doesn't outspeed Salome, I guess, somehow. That's the S3, and she did like about 5% just with the S3. Cross S2 into his S3, and the Banshee's gonna be dead. Now for Azimanak, which please don't farm this, but just so we can say we're doing all of the hunts, we're gonna do the Huayang plus Salome team again, because I think it's kind of neat. For Salome, she doesn't need to be super slow. You do want Huayang to go before her, so I just removed her swordware to keep her at like 250, and it's fine. Make sure you have enough bulk that you don't die if the boss double bleeds you, is really the only thing here, and of course the 80 effectiveness. And then Huayang, you're going to want to give her immunity set. This is just so you can block the boss's bleeds at the very start. And then besides that, just give her damage, and you're good to go with Daydream Joker. And you need 100% crit chance this time, because the boss is not fire. And oops, I forgot to turn on auto. The same thing as usual, Huayang goes, we push up Salome. And the reason I said you actually want Huayang to go before Salome this time is because we do need Huayang's S1 damage, so you want to make sure she S3s first, and that way you get 2 hits from Huayang instead of just 1. Or I guess technically 3 instead of 2. Anyways, yep, that's dead, we're yielding. Lastly is Caides, which is actually pretty hard to one-shot. We will be using the second imprint circuit board here for the crit damage node for Straze. For Salome, you're going to want her to be pretty fast, like at least 240 probably. We're going to leave her 250. I'm not going to bother giving her sword back, it doesn't really matter. And of course the 80 effectiveness. And Straze, full damage, Destro Torrent. We have the 400% crit damage node. He is in the imprint circuit board with Daydream Joker. One really nice thing about Salome is that because her S3 is an actual attack skill, she does pick up a danger level, so she will be taking all of the aggro at the very start, which is nice. Another interesting thing is that the decreased speed thing, if you 15% this, there's a reason I didn't tune for it, because it's all RNG, but if you 15% decreased speed thing, you can technically do less damage. Because Daydream Joker scales with the enemy's max HP, right? So here he cycles it off, and you're technically doing more damage here, because his max HP is higher. Make sure that you have the damage to kill, even if you double outspeed, just because you would be doing slightly less damage in that case if they both outspeed Caides. And because it's an RNG debuff, he doesn't ignore F-Res, unfortunately. I kind of wish he did. You're gonna have to, like, just deal with that. That is it for all the Hunt one-shot teams. Really, really fun. The Ignore 15% node opens up a lot of more unit combinations, not just with Salome. There's going to be a bunch of other units that benefit from this a lot as well. And then other, like, PV uses for Salome is you probably don't want to do the Hunt one-shots at the same time, because her other uses are mainly just having her skills off and then spamming dual attacks in, like, Fire, Dark Expedition, or maybe Breach. But Salome going to be a very fun unit to use for hopefully some other stuff as well, thanks to the new Epic node.